Picture a lab in near total darkness. A lone detector waits motionless until click. One subatomic particle appears out of nowhere, like a secret deciding to speak. Now picture a forest hermitage 25 centuries ago. A sage whispering, "Nothing is real until the seer awakens." What ties those two scenes together is a single unnerving idea. The universe may be unfinished until it's unsolved. Tonight we chase that idea across millennia, from quantum experiments that rewrite textbooks to Sanskrit verses that refuse to stay silent. By the end, you may never look at the act of looking the same way again. Pop culture quantum manifesting often drifts into fantasy, yet a genuine overlap survives the hype. Physics says measurement and outcome are entangled. The Upanishads insist consciousness and world are inseparable. If that resonance is real, it alters how we grasp reality, how we direct attention, and how we bridge Eastern introspection with Western science. The Upanishads, composed roughly 800 to 200 BCE, stand at the philosophical summit of the Vedas. They sidestep ritual and plunge straight into ontology. What is consciousness? What is the ultimate ground of being? Across many dialogues, they return to a pair of Sanskrit terms. Drashta means the one who sees, and drashya means that which is seen. Anything that can be thought, felt, or perceived. Your body, a sunset, a burst of anger, belongs to drashya. The bare field of awareness behind those happenings is drashta. To picture the distinction, imagine sitting in a dark cinema. The projector casts a rapid stream of images, explosions, love scenes, landscapes. The screen receives them all without getting burned or stained. When the reel ends, the screen is still just a screen. Drashya is the movie endlessly changing, and drashta is the spotless surface that makes seeing possible yet remains untouched. The Upanishads push further. They name that screen-like awareness Atman, and they name the ultimate cosmic substrate Brahman. Then they say Atman is Brahman. In other words, the same witness glows at the heart of every conscious moment and at the foundation of the cosmos. Reality in this telling is participatory from the start. Fast forward to 1801. Thomas Young shines a beam of light through two thin slits, cut into a screen, and watches what lands on the wall behind. If light were just a spray of tiny pellets, you'd expect two bright stripes, one behind each slit. Instead, a whole barcode of bright and dark bands appears, the signature of a wave. Picture tossing two pebbles into a still pond. Where the ripples meet, they either pile up onto higher crests or cancel into glossy troughs. Light, it seems, behaves like those ripples. A century later, scientists try the same trick with electrons, solid, charged bits of matter. Strangely, the electrons paint the same ripple pattern barcode. One by one, they land in spots that over time add up to waves interfering with themselves. It's as if a single electron spreads out, sneaks through both slits at once, and only then decides where to land. Here is the mind bender. Install tiny sensors right at the slits, little gatekeepers that ask each electron, which doorway did you choose? The moment those sensors start watching, the barcode disappears. The electrons now march through as neat, separate pellets, stacking up in two simple stripes exactly where classical intuition said they would. To bring the mystery home, swab the electrons for a mischievous cat in a hallway with two doors. If no one's looking, the cat somehow squeezes through both at once, leaving paw prints in rooms on either side. The instant you set up a camera to catch the trick, the cat behaves, choosing one door, walking a single path, pretending it never had a musician's resume. Physicists call the pre-camera state a superposition, a cloud of overlapping possibilities. They call the moment a definite outcome appears, wave function collapse. And the camera or any other device that can record a fact plays the same role the Upanishads assign to consciousness. The a witness that coaxes potential into a single concrete scene. That is the double-slit experiment in a nutshell. Nature behaving like water ripples when uninspected, like bullet pellets when interrogated, and leaving us to wonder why the act of simply looking makes all the difference. The Upanishads, of course, never mention electrons, nor do quantum textbooks invoke Sanskrit verses. Nevertheless, lay the ideas side by side and unexpected echoes emerge. Both traditions claim that unexamined reality lives in a kind of limbo. The quantum limbo is a superposition, a hazy overlap of probabilities. The Upanishadic limbo is the Maya, the shimmering play of appearances not yet recognized as such. In both cases, the fog clears only in relationship. The electron meets a detector, the phenomenon meets the witness. Both insist that the observer cannot be factored out. Quantum mechanics requires a measurement postulate. Vedanta requires awareness itself. And both hint in their own idioms that certainty is not fundamental. The physicists speak of the probability wave, the sage of the dreamlike surface of experience. Hard fact arises later, born at the crossroads where knower meets known. Yet caution is healthy. Mathematics renders quantum predictions with exquisite accuracy, while the Upanishads speak in poetry, story, and paradox. The overlap is suggestive, not decisive, inspiration, not proof. Still, when two cultures, separated by oceans and millennia, stumble into the same philosophical pressure point, curiosity is justified. Philosophy can feel airy, physics remote, but the convergence has flesh and blood consequences. Consider attention. Neuroscientists confirm that neurons firing together wire together. Focus repeatedly on a skill and the brain thickens the relevant firing. Brood on resentment and bitterness becomes your resting pulse. If experience is collapsing around attention, as both the Upanishads and the laboratory imply, then where you aim awareness shapes the world you later call real. Consider identity. If thoughts and feelings belong to the drishya, the seen, then anxiety or self-doubt is not you but something witnessed by you. Cognitive behavioral therapists advise patients to step back and name their thoughts. Here is worry, here is anger. The Upanishads offer the same medicine under different terrain. Be the seer, not the storm. Consider productivity. Multitasking leaves possibilities open like waves. Single task focus collapses scattered intention into a concrete outcome. An electron under observation picks one spot. A project under undivided attention tends to do the same. None of this requires mystical leaps or quantum witchcraft. It rests on a simple principle. Attention is participatory, not passive. What you place it on crystallizes, what you neglect returns to mist. Skeptics point out correctly that physicists do not need human consciousness to collapse a wave function. Any interaction will do, which is fair, yet the Upanishadic insight survives. Interaction, relationship, witnessing, call it what you will, sits at the root of the transformation. Others warn equally fairly that the math of quantum field theory is vastly more disciplined than metaphysical speculation. Crucial to keep in sight, but it is also true that the greatest physicists from Bohr to Wheeler have slipped now and then into near mystical language because the observer keeps lurking in the equations like a ghost refusing eviction. So the responsible stance is neither to inflate ancient verses into scientific law nor to dismiss them as charming but irrelevant. It is to notice a resonance between the subjective and the objective and to let that resonance deepen our inquiry into both. Abstract ideas toughened when rubbed against lived experience, so try a day-long experiment. Set a gnarly chime on your phone each time it sounds hoarse. Note what occupies awareness: a rumbling stomach, a worry about tomorrow, the siren outside. Then shift the spotlight. I notice the sound. I notice the thought. You have just moved from the seen to the seer. Repeat often enough and the gap between stimulus and self widens. Emotional reactivity drops not by suppression but by relocation of identity. Next, tackle the wave particle dilemma in your inbox. Notifications flutter like probabilities. Choose one task, silence the rest. Observe how the cloud of half-finished work condenses into the one email you finally send. Focus tasks like the detector, execution, the particle hitting the screen. Finally, journal in the evening. Which stories about yourself felt carved in stone? Picture them now as a superposition waiting renewed observation. The Upanishads challenge you to remember that identity is not a verb, not a noun. It is a film developing in real time as the seer watches. Deep beneath Swiss soil, particle detectors wait like librarians for subatomic gossip. Thousands of miles away, a monk beneath a banyan tree tracks the boundary between thought and observer. The settings differ, the theme repeats. Reality and observation converse. The electron chooses a dot. The mind releases a story. The universe appears at their meeting point. Perhaps the cosmos is half written until participation completes the sentence. If that possibility intrigues you, subscribe. Here we explore frontiers where ancient hunch meets modern evidence, where reality seems to wait politely for the moment we choose to look.